Hey guys, welcome to the 2020 podcast, episode 4. Today I'm joined by Rosanna Styles, and we actually knew each other back in college, but little did we know that we'd both venture off into two very different fields and two very different industries. She's going to be speaking about her field of styling, working with amazing people in music, especially one of her most distinguished pieces of work is working on a music video with none other than the late Cadet. So I get deep into the topic of working with someone as legendary as him, who I've been a massive fan of actually since a very long time ago, from his letter to Crept and onwards. We also speak about holidays, and we speak about working for free and also working with the right sort of people as well. Now remember, you can check out all of our work on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/the2020podcast. You can also check us out on Spotify as well as SoundCloud. The links for them are all across YouTube and my Instagram at Saif the Writer.
Living the moment till I die. And I'm gonna chase it. And I'm gonna chase it. I know we can't ignore it. No matter how hard we try. And I'm gonna chase it. And I'm gonna chase it. I know we can't ignore it. No matter how hard we try.
Welcome to the 2020 podcast.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on. You've seen some of our podcasts before.
I have.
I'm going to start with this because I haven't actually spoken to you in quite a few years. We used to go to college together,
Yes,
right?
we did.
So we went to the same college, and that was 6 years ago.
Yeah.
More than that, maybe. No, actually, it was about 6 years ago.
We started probably longer than that, 8
Yeah.
years ago.
What do you think? What do you think of our first few episodes?
I think they're really good. I think it's definitely needed for this generation, like to be able to talk about different topics really openly and be raw and real about it.
Yeah.
And for people to be able to listen and for them to be able to relate to it, it's so important for this day and age.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of things, there's like this taboo behind a lot of things, and you've just been able to put it out there so people can listen and maybe not feel so alone and think that there are other people out there.
That's true. And you know what it is? I had probably 1/10 of what you were thinking. I was thinking, I'm just going to talk about things that people don't hear, and if it helps them, it helps them. And you've just literally put it on a pedestal there, because I've underestimated just how powerful a platform like this could be, because especially with the first episode, we were talking about mental health and suicide and a lot of very deep topics, and I didn't really know how that would be taken. And, you know, it was surprising, especially from a girl's perspective. The amount of females that got in touch after that show was amazing, and I'm really happy with that. And the second episode is out as well, which is about business, marketing, brand awareness, social media, and how to grow your business as a teenager, because I started businesses really young, and we've got quite a few mutual friends as well that, you know, do a lot of their own things. And you're doing your own thing as well, right? You're into fashion.
Fashion stylist, I am.
Fashion stylist.
Yes.
So what does that involve?
A lot of different things, actually. So I've only really taken it seriously for about 9 months now. And to be honest, I do loads of things when I'm on set, not just styling, but that just sort of happens when you're just starting out.
Yeah.
But so mainly what I do is I go pull from brands, like I go pull clothing, and whenever I have an event or like a video shoot, photo shoot come up for whoever it is, and I just go ahead and style them for it.
Wicked. And you've had I mean, because I noticed you on a video, I think, how long ago was that music video that you did, your first one?
That was about 8 months ago now.
8 months ago, because that's when I started seeing, to be honest with you, I started seeing it on I started seeing the video separately, and then I saw you in there, and I was like, is that the same person? Is that Rosanna in that video? Then I had to fully watch it, and I was watching the video anyway, but it was just like surprising to see, and I was like really happy for you that you were in that video as well.
Yeah.
I mean, tell us a bit about the video and the artist.
Okay, so the concept behind the video was that the models who were in it were supposed to be stylists. So the director thought it would work for me to be in the video as well.
To have two in one.
Yes, to be styling the artist while on camera, basically.
Yeah.
I don't know if it comes off that way in the video, but go check it out.
That was the aim.
Yeah.
Awesome. Who are the artists?
So I styled AM and Cadet. Yeah. Tion Wayne is also in the video and on the track, but he turned up 8 hours late, so I couldn't style him in the end.
Is that normal for people to turn up? I mean, because they're in a different league of industry and everything. So is it normal for that to happen when you're on sets? Or how did the people around you take it?
Not very well. A lot of people were annoyed, and I was hosting a show after that. That, so I had to shoot off. I couldn't stay. So yeah, a lot of people were annoyed, and yes, it does happen. Maybe not a whole 8 hours, maybe 2 or 3. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it was an experience, I guess.
Awesome. How was it working with the people?
Do you mean the artist?
The artist, yeah.
The artist.
Was that was the first time you worked with those kind of artists?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you had Cadet on your show as well, and I'm a huge fan from his music when he started as well. And how was it working with him?
Cadet was great. Like, his energy was just something else. Like, he was a great person, and something that will always stay with me is that as I was leaving, I was like, right, cool, Cadet, like, catch you later. And he was like, yeah, I'll definitely see you at the top.
Yeah.
And that really was a big push and motivation for me. And then when he passed a couple months later, it was like again, another push that, like, you know,
you
like,
can do
got to do it. If someone like that's believing in you, you got to do it.
He's a legend.
Yeah, literally.
And so let's say you take that. Let's say you take his words and you actually do something. What is it you'd want to do for yourself, whether it's fashion related or anything else? What is it you'd want to do?
If I'm completely honest, I'm having a bit of a moment at the moment where I don't know where things are going, but I think that's normal for any creative. Like, you sometimes hit blocks where you're like, okay, so where am I going with this? Like, what am I doing? The main end goal is obviously to make money and disappear with, like, the love of your life, basically, for me. But until that happens,
for the younger people out there, as long as you have your income coming in, you can do whatever you want to do with your creativity. And
100%.
you know, so much out there today.
Yeah.
So much out there,
I agree.
which is amazing. And speaking of so much out there, actually, I literally just came back from somewhere that you went to from what I hear. I just came back from Croatia. Hence the slight tan that I might have right now. I went to Split. And then I did island hopping across Dubrovnik and all the other islands, which I cannot pronounce for the life of me right now. But it was one of the best kind of holidays in terms of activities and excursions that I've ever done. How was Croatia for you?
I loved it. It was so beautiful. We went to Dubrovnik and then we drove up to Split. Yeah. It was stunning. Yeah, absolutely stunning. I mean, I wouldn't go back because maybe I had a bad experience because we went at quite a bad time. Not a bad time.
When did you go?
In April. So it was like raining a lot.
Oh, you missed out.
Yeah, so we didn't really get to do a lot of things because a lot of things were closed. And you're like, oh, it's not the holiday season. Yeah. But no, but it was stunning and the food was incredible and the people were so lovely. Like, everyone was willing to help you out, and yeah, it was just stunning. Like,
I'll tell you my first impression. I got there. We got there at night time, so we couldn't really see too much. And I was in a taxi, and I have this thing where whenever I'm in the taxi from the airport to the hotel, I'm always asking questions after questions after questions. I just want to get into my element. I just want to know things. So the first thing I asked was about food, because being a Muslim and traveling, I thought food is one of those things you know ask. Yeah. So I was like, in Croatia, what do you guys eat that is like really recommended and stuff? So I thought I'd leave it very open, because maybe he would see me as a Muslim and just be like, oh yeah, I'm going to recommend you some things. So he was like, well, we have a really amazing beef and it's made like this, and he was talking all about it. And then he's like, not only was it beef that I probably wouldn't eat anyway, but he was also like, we marinate and sprinkle it and drizzle it all in alcohol. And I was like, oh, okay. So tell me about the vegetarian option and the fish. Then he turned around and he's like, well, our octopuses are octopi. Our octopi are very, very is really nice as well. We drizzle it all in alcohol, and I was like, oh, for God's sake, everything's in alcohol. All right, say, what about the veggie option? What do you do with the vegetables? We have some really nice vegetables. We drizzle it all in alcohol, and I was just like, oh, for God's sake, this isn't gonna work out for me in Croatia. But yeah, the sights were amazing. Did you get to see the waterfall?
No.
Guys, check out the waterfall. It looks amazing. It was it was amazing because I actually did the first big thing I did outside of the UK was swim in an ocean.
Yeah.
In Croatia, I swam, and it wasn't a leisure centre. And I've always swum in leisure centres. I've been very house catty, so
Okay.
now I'm like outdoor.
Yeah.
So I didn't expect my feet to be cut up with stones, and I didn't expect loads of fish to be there, which was really cool actually seeing it.
Yeah.
So I'm there hanging by the waterfall, by the rope where if you go past the rope, it just sucks you in to the plunge pool, for those that study geography, to the plunge pool. So I was there like hanging on for my dear life, and I'm there thinking, I'm right in front of a waterfall. I want to take a picture. I want to take a video. So I pulled out my phone, which was underwater, pulled it out, and that was a Note 9, so it's waterproof. Samsung, get at me.
iPhones don't get this.
Don't get them. So I literally was there hanging on for my dear life. My friend took a picture, but he's like, I can't put it back into your pocket because the current's too strong. And I'm a 70% swimmer. I can 70% swim. The other
What does that
30%
even
is
mean?
30% drowning
Okay.
and 70% swimming. That's what I do. So I was like, listen, mate, you got to get this phone into my pocket because I can't get back, right? So what I did was he went underwater. I held the phone with one hand in my pocket, one hand on the rope, and I was literally sideways being pushed into the waterfall. He got there, he zipped it up, and we made it back alive, which was, for me, most people are going to be listening to that thinking that's not much of a big deal. But for a 70% swimmer, that 30% of drowning was taken over for me, right? So that was me done. It was amazing. What did you get up to?
What, in Croatia?
Yeah.
A lot of sightseeing, a lot of eating food,
Yeah.
a lot of cocktails. Yeah, we didn't really party because again it was like off season.
Yeah, wasn't really a
yeah,
party.
just a lot of sightseeing.
You're from Iran.
Yes.
My entire 4 years or 3 years at university was dedicated to Iran.
Okay.
Majority of it, from Iranian history to Iranian religions. But I know nowadays it's not the same as what it was in the past, and it's got so much history to it. So much history to it. What do you like about Iran? I know it might be a tough question to find something at the moment for yourself, being Iranian, but what, because I'm fascinated by it. So
Yeah, I mean, again, the food. I'm a big foodie.
what's nice?
So
Something drizzled in alcohol as well, right?
could you imagine? Oh my god!
In Iran,
literally, you'd have like your hand chopped off or something. But not that extreme, promise. We're known for like kebabs and rice. So
right?
like,
Yeah.
Chela kebab, like
Yeah.
jujere, all of that. We're known, and we're also known for like our stews.
Yeah.
With rice again, a lot of everything with rice
Yeah.
basically, and desserts. So falode, if you know what falode is, the
Faluda.
bang falode. Yeah, what do you
The
know?
pink
what
stuff.
No. No,
That's
it's an
something else,
ice cream.
Faluda. Ice cream. You know what?
Ice cream.
I love the desserts in like from these kind of countries. I went to I had an Afghan dessert the other day. Completely forgot what it was called, and it was like pistachio and ice cream and all these
That's
other.
it,
Yeah, was it that?
falode,
Oh, I
yes.
might have had that recently.
Like falode is also with like white, sort of looks like straw, but not straw. Maybe looks like rice.
Okay, and is it coconut?
No, it's not coconut. It tastes like rose water.
Oh,
Yeah,
but that's what
banging.
Faluda is as well. Rose water and some pink stuff with bits in it, like
Oh.
these kind of things. I'm gonna pull up a picture later on and show you.
Okay.
See how that compares. But yeah, okay. Because here the reason why Iran kind of amazes me is actually from the empirical kind of historical side of things, in terms of like you've had Mongol invasions, you've had Muslim invasions. You know, why I say Muslim invasion, everyone associates Iran with Islam as the traditional religion, but I'm talking about before Islam even started. How much do you know?
Not a lot.
Okay, there's a story.
Tell me all.
There's a story, and it comes roots back to my primary school days. I'm not going to name the person, but I learned a lot from this person without them even doing anything. Okay. So she came into my primary school in year 4 or 5. She came from Iran, and she had a name that was pretty standard, traditional Iranian, even Muslim name. And I thought, okay, cool. She, maybe she's Muslim. And obviously, when you're at primary school, what religions do you hear about? Christianity.
Yeah, it's true. Especially
Judaism.
our age.
I mean, you get the world religions. You'll get up to Buddhism. You'll get Christianity, Islam, Judaism, Hinduism, Sikhism, if they go into that, and up to Buddhism. And then that's it.
Yeah.
So when you say world religions, are we talking about only 7 religions or 6 religions? Is that it? Is there no more representation for religions out there? So she's there in my class. And this one time, there was another guy in my class, and they were having this conversation about religion, and she was like, I'm not Muslim. Now, we're 10 years old. Okay, we're 10 years old. All we know are these religions. And she's coming across with, she's not Muslim. So then, some of the kids started picking on her. And it was the case of, well, if you're not Muslim, what are you? Or were you lying about being Muslim? And it was a case of, what it was actually was miseducation. People didn't, and we were so young, we didn't really know what other religions were. Skip forward about 10, 12 years. I'm at university now. I'm studying a religion, and her Facebook name changes.
Okay.
And it changes from that name that she had to Avesta. And I thought, now I'm making connections. So as I was studying, the religion that started before Islam in Iran, the state religion, in fact, it's the first ever state religion in the world ever. Okay, so you have like one country has one religion. The first ever one was actually Iran. They had a religion called Zoroastrianism. Okay, and Zoroastrianism right now it's a very small religion, but at the time it was that state religion, and they believed in, actually quite interesting. You know when people say, if God really exists, why is there so much suffering in the world? That question comes up all the time, God and suffering, right? If God's really a good God, then why am I suffering? Those kind of questions. Zoroastrians believe that their God creates only good, and there's an evil counteracting force that creates evil, right? So every time he creates a dove, they'll create a snake. Every time he creates a vulture, which is good, they'll create spiders, stuff like that. So she was there, and their holy book is called Avesta.
Okay.
And that's where I made the link of, okay, so she's actually Zoroastrian. At 10, do I know what Zoroastrian is? Do they teach us this at school where we know what Zoroastrian? But is that not important as well for us to know? Because I don't want to treat her unfairly. And those guys did treat her unfairly, or they didn't know what they were doing. They didn't understand at 10 years old that other religions exist. And this is where it becomes very scary. Zoroastrians, well, and it's very, very interesting as well. Zoroastrians, they deal with their bodies very differently as well. This is one of my most interesting things that I've ever learned about them. People bury, or you can do what?
Throw them in the sea.
Throw them in the sea, yeah. Or you can cremate them, right? So their argument was this: if you bury them, you're polluting the earth. If you throw them in the sea, you're polluting the water. And if you burn them and you cremate them, then you're polluting the air. So what do you do?
Couldn't tell you guys. Could not tell you.
At this point, I was stumped. I was like, so what do Zoroastrians do then?
Yeah.
And this is where it comes to it. Zoroastrians, what they do is it's a bit hard to do nowadays, but they have their own kind of tower, and they put the bodies at the top of the tower, and vultures actually come and devour the body. And vultures were known as a good creation from their god, and therefore it's seen as a good thing because it's not polluting the world that God created. And that's how they deal with it. And I found that so fascinating. I found that very different to everyone else. And especially nowadays, you've got all of this in the news, and people are starting to debate about it, where they're running out of space to bury. They're running out of ways to deal with the body and pollution and global warming. Everything is coming out where is there not a good way to kind of deal with it? And I don't know, I'm not saying that's a good way, I'm not saying it's a bad way, I'm just saying that's their way of doing things. But I found that so fascinating, and yeah, that's where Iran took me, which was fascinating. I know things are a lot different nowadays in Iran, and there's a lot of things happening around that geopolitical kind of side of things, but that is such a deep rabbit hole that we'd have to go into if we did. As someone that's actually worked for free in so many photo shoots and video shoots and stuff, what would you have as your overall kind of message to people that are creative, that are looking to do things, to work with people, but also, haven't really branched out so much where they have a huge following and their value is huge, but at the same time you don't want to undervalue everyone else? What would you do? What's your overall kind of tips for that?
Okay, first of all, always big up yourself. Like, seriously, don't undervalue yourself. Second, like, when you're picking what ones to do for free, make sure it's with, like, a good production team. The people are good. They're going to treat you nicely.
Yeah.
Like, you're going there to be a fashion stylist. You're not going there to be this person and the art man and well, you could be the art man,
the cameraman,
the cameraman and the light man. You're not there to do that. You're there to be a stylist. So and you know you're going to get treated nicely as well, because I think a lot of, especially in the music industry, I think the fashion stylists, the makeup people, they're overlooked a little bit.
Yeah.
They're sort of like, they think, oh, like they're just there, innit?
Yeah.
But no, like these people have actual talent, and like it's like they're proper overlooked, I feel like. So as long as you know that they're going to respect you, then it's probably a good one. And if you know you can network and it's going to bring on more things, then definitely do it, even if it's for free.
Perfect. Thank you so much
You're
for
welcome.
coming down to the 2020 podcast.
Thank you for having me. It's your girl, Rosanna Styles. It's been fabulous. 2020 podcast and all of that. Catch it soon. Don't know when. And all of that.